Welcome to Lawson Talk Spa, where the pigskin is life. 3 days into free agency, and we have to talk about the Raiders. And I thought we would be talking about the signings, but we all saw that bomb that dropped last night. Max Crosby trade rescinded. Nothing is official until Wednesday, 4 o'clock p.m. So you get Max Crosby back, and you don't get those 2 first rounders. And I think the Ravens really did the Raiders dirty. But if I'm a Raiders fan right now, I'm not feeling bad about my position. Obviously, Max Crosby wasn't going to pass a physical because he tore his meniscus. He had surgery in January. Any team that wanted to trade knew that going in. So let's talk about the Raiders free agency additions, and I absolutely love them. And I'm going to talk about one theory I have that maybe triggered the Ravens. First signing that I loved was the Lindenbaum signing. And yes, this was an overpay. Yes, this reset the market. But you spend a top 10 draft pick on Gente, and that offensive line of the Raiders last year was absolutely deplorable. Now you get one of the best interior linemen in the league to set course and set this organization in the right way. So I absolutely love it. And there will probably be a new quarterback coming with that number 1 overall pick. Maybe one of the most underrated signings that no one wants to talk about is Jalen Nailor. I mean, Jalen Nailor is a very good route runner, and we saw him supplant Adam Thielen with the Vikings. That's why the Vikings were fine letting him go and using Jalen Nailor as a slot option. I'm not saying Jalen Nailor is going to be a superstar or anything, but he provides stability to a receiving core that had absolutely nothing. Another signing I liked from the Raiders, and that I think isn't being talked about enough, Quay Walker. Now I get it. Quay Walker is an athletic freak, just an absolute guy built to play linebacker in this league. He has all the tools. He has everything you want. But in Green Bay, it just never came to fruition. I mean, it's kind of the same story we've seen with a lot of players in Green Bay, like Rashawn Gary going over to the Packers. Quay Walker's a guy who commits a lot of dumb penalties, a lot of dumb plays, but he also plays the game with a ferocity and an edge that I think the Raiders need, that you definitely need when you're stopping the run. Is he a liability sometimes in pass coverage? Yes, but I think that can be coached out of him. And I think he's a guy you can put in that linebacking core and say, listen, Quay Walker's going to be good against the run, and he's going to help our front seven. With the Kwity Paye signing, it looks better now that Max Crosby's back in the mix. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Max Crosby. We don't know if Max Crosby's going to stay. We don't know if teams are going to be scared away. Like I said, I think this is more bluff from the Ravens than anything. I think this is more buyer's remorse. I've never been a big Kwity Paye fan when he was with the Colts, but he has improved. He does have a good speed rush. He does have something about him. And I'm not going to shoot the signing. And obviously the Raiders aren't going to go back and renege on their word. And maybe they're still shopping Max Crosby. That's the big question. The Kwity Paye one was one that I was a little bit on. But overall, I love what they've done here. And then let's talk about Nakobe Dean. I do like Nakobe Dean. I do like Nakobe Dean. I think he's versatile in coverage. And I think that's one thing you need in a linebacking core. So overall, man, I love what the Raiders have done. And you guys know I'm not one to just say, oh, yeah, I love every signing. But so far, so good from the Raiders. And maybe this situation with Max Crosby, with all the cap space the Raiders have, could turn into a good thing for Raiders fans. I would like to see the offensive line addressed. I want to see more offensive linemen added. And obviously, I'm sure that's on the front office's to-do list. But adding Lindenbaum, even though that's an overpay, the rest of the contracts really weren't that big an overpay when I'm looking across the league. Like, I saw people getting at the Raiders. Listen, I'd prefer to pay like Jalen Naylor 3 years, 33, whatever it was, than the big contract Romeo Doubs got with the New England Patriots. Just giving an example. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Lawson Talks Ball. We'll see how this Max Crosby saga plays out.